Helping you to master your technology. Galaxy Note 9 versus S9 Plus speed test. Let's boot them up at the same time in 3, 2, 1. A lot of you have been requesting this comparison, and it makes sense considering that both of these do have Snapdragon 845s. Both of them do have a high amount of RAM, but they also do come in at very different price points, and that being the Note 9 significantly more than a Galaxy S9 Plus. But this also can show you maybe a differences between, the 6 gig of RAM version of a Samsung and the 8 gig of RAM version. You've seen the Note 9 does boot up first. Samsung Experience version 9.5 on the left, and we have 9.0 on the right. Both are running Android version 8. I believe it's 8.1 and 8.0 for the Samsung S9 Plus. Okay, so we've arrived at the application portion of this speed test, and you could see that the Note 9, everything closed for the S9. Adreno 630, 845 CPU, 845 CPU, 8 gigs of RAM, 6 gigs of RAM is the difference here. Let's begin with settings, 3, 2, 1. You can see settings is very similar on both. Heading into clock, we have a similar performance there. Let's go into calculator. You can see no real discernible differences. Samsung Health, and this might be a good indicator of the differences you're going to see if you buy a Note 9 6 gigs of RAM versus this Note 8 or Note 9 8 gigs of RAM. Let's go into Play Store. You can see a little bit faster there for the S9 Plus. Clicking this application, nearly the same exact performance. Let's go into Instagram. You can see Instagram is first on which one? Neither. It's actually a pretty equal draw there. Going through the application, no real differences. Let's go into Twitter. You can see Twitter is first on the right, a little bit over the Note 9. Let's go into the Snapchat application, and again, almost identical. Let's go into WhatsApp, and looks like the S9 slightly. Let's go into YouTube, and YouTube is first on neither. It's basically the same performance here, which is not surprising considering that both of these phones do have the same processor on board. The Note 9 has to push a little bit of a larger display. Let's go into Prime Video. Hopefully we get no ads here, and we don't. Equal performance again. Let's go into Amazon, and this is not even surprising at this point, but the S9 Plus surprisingly not behind the Note 9 at all. You would think with the 8 gigs of RAM, it might slightly jump ahead maybe sometimes, but not so far. What about eBay? And you can see eBay is about the same on both. So this might be showing you right here that doesn't really matter if you get the 8 gig of RAM or 6 gig of RAM version. This might just be overkill just to please power users like me myself. Let's go into the next application. What about Dead Trigger 2? And you could see Dead Trigger 2 is going to open first on, I look like the Note 9 was slightly ahead, but if we hit play, we're going to see which one can load this first. All right, so let's hit play on both and see which one can get into the game first. I do have high graphics settings on both of them. Again, because these are both similar GPUs, they should load about the same, and you've seen they did, but I'm surprised that the S9 keeps coming ahead just a little bit over the Note 9. But you could argue that, again, like I said earlier, smaller display might be helping that fact. Let's go into PUBG Mobile to see which one can load this game up first. I will skip through this as this one does take quite some time to load up, and we'll get into the starting the match section. Okay, so we're back, and the Note 9 definitely won here when it comes to getting into the game. So the Note 9 was faster to load up this more graphically intensive PUBG Mobile. So let's just see which one can start the match first here on both. And the Note 9 wins this category over the S9 Plus. And I tried this before the video started on the PUBG Mobile, and it seems like the Note 9 keeps winning that test. Let's go into slither.io and see which one is first. And you could see that it looked like maybe the S9. It's so close. It's really hard to see. Let's hit play against IO. And let's see if I can get a couple wins really quickly here. Oh no, get away, get away, get away. Okay, let's get out of there. Let's go into the next one, which is going to be Subway Surfers, and see which one can load this up first. And both are just flying through this load time. And you could see again, literally if you bought a Note 9 or an S9 Plus 6 gigs of RAM, there's no real difference you're going to see in the day-to-day on the performance, which is actually pretty impressive considering that you would think Android needing 8 gigs of RAM. Not really. 6 gigs of RAM might be enough. And you can see they both do load speed tests about the same time. So I would say it's a draw here in this application test. The Note 9 only won basically on PUBG Mobile. These slight little milliseconds, fraction of a seconds, they don't make no real difference. So it's a draw in the application speed test, even though the S9 Plus only has 6 gigs of RAM. Let's run through them in multitasking now. I'm gonna do this quickly here so we can fly through this one. Geekbench, I don't think we're gonna see any real differences again on this aspect. I haven't had really any reloads for the S9 Plus because of its 6 gigs of RAM, and I haven't had any reloads at all with the Note 9 because of its 8 gigs of RAM, so this shouldn't change things too much. And this is one of the true benefits of buying a Galaxy phone right now, is the ability to multitask and still have those applications open. Now, a lot of people do complain about how you're going to see lag a little bit here and there on the Galaxy S9 or on any Galaxy phone for that matter, but this is 2018 and these phones don't really have that. And some people have been arguing that the touch latency is just ridiculous on here. You don't really see those things unless you're really digging around and looking for them. So yes, maybe some other phones have better touch latency than these, but these phones are very fast and very smooth, and they have pretty nice animations, and you're not going to really notice that stuff unless you're really looking for it. And that's it. They draw again in multitasking. Okay, so the final scores are in, and you could see that it's pretty much a draw here between both of them. A little bit of a win there for the Note 9, but I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, does that look like a $500 difference in terms of the Geekbench score? Because I definitely don't see it right there, and you definitely didn't see it in the performance. But don't let this video make you think that the Note 9 still doesn't warrant its higher price tag. This phone you're not buying just for that speed increase over an S9, for example. You're buying it for the S Pen remote, the S Pen functionality. You're also buying it because you have the biggest Samsung display you can get. You might also be buying it because it has more of a flat display, which makes it a little bit less curved if you're into that. You also might be buying it because it gives you 512 gigabytes of storage, and maybe 8 gigs of RAM will play a role in the long term when you have this phone a very long time and you want it to stay snappy. That might help it out a little bit over the S9 Plus, but as it stands right now, there's really no difference in the speed department. So I think that this video answers a very important question. Should I buy a 6 gig of RAM version Note 9 or an 8 gig of RAM version? You've seen here, based on the performance of the 6 gig of RAM S9 Plus, there's probably zero differences between them. Also, if you don't need the S Pen, just save yourself some money and get yourself the S9. It's a little bit sleeker, it's cheaper, and it definitely does basically the same things. The camera performance, I've already been testing the Note 9, is exactly the same basically as the S9 Plus. Your thoughts, questions, comments, feedback, which ones do you think are the better deal here, the S9s or the Note 9s of the world? Let us know down below in the comments section. Are you skipping these out? You're waiting for the S10, you're waiting for the Note 10. Let us know that as well. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this video helpful, enjoyable, entertaining, do me a favor and click that like button for me, and don't forget to subscribe on your way out. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well, and peace.